Good morning, Stampers. Happy Friday and welcome to part 2 of our Ways to Use Stencils series. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and most Fridays I go live here on Facebook with a crafty project. So welcome. Make sure that you comment below for the opportunity to win the project that I share today. Last week's winner, this is the card that we created last week. So this was the first part of our Ways to Use Stencils, and we basically just covered the basics. So what you can do, how you can use them, what you can do, just the very basics, some of the supplies that you can use. The lucky winner for this card is Sue Post, so I will pop that in the mail for you today. Thank you to everyone who commented and shared the video. That's how you can get your name entered in to win the project for this week. Can you guys hear that the garbage truck? Like, as soon as I start my Facebook Live, it comes down our street. Oh my gosh, hopefully it's not too loud. It's just so nice to have the windows open. All right, so like I said, this is part 2 of our series. This is going to be a 4-part series focused on different ways to use stencils, or what Stampin' Up! Calls masks. And for all 4 videos, I will be using the Artistic Mix Decorative masks from the annual catalog. Now, in the current annual catalog, there are 2 different sets of masks, but at this point, this is the only one that I have, so this is what I will be using. So I'll just do a quick flip through. So we've got some of these shapes. We've got this one, which we're going to use that one today. We've got this one. We're also going to use that one today. We've got this one and this one. And these 2 are designed so that you can layer one on top of the other, which is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about layering, as well as these 2 are meant to be layered as well. Okay, so we're going to use the plaid ones today. Now, I just want to point out that this 4-part series, this is not going to by any means cover all of the different ways that you can use stencils. There are so many different ways that you can use your stencils or your masks. What I really wanted to focus on was simple ways that don't require a ton of other stuff. Okay, so with just a set of masks or stencils, some ink, and some way to apply them, you should be able to do, for the most part, all of the techniques that I do. Okay, so, and my preferred method of application is our blending brushes, but you can also use sponges or finger daubers. You can also mist, which gets into a whole other range of products. You can also use, what is it called? Embossing paste. That's another thing that you can use. So there's so many different ways that you can do this, but like I said, I wanted to focus on simple ways. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, I've got a piece of white. Now, I have created a sample for today, but I'm switching up the colors. So we'll see how this looks. And it was a very late night last night. We leave tomorrow for Scotland, and I've just had so much stuff to get done. It was very, very late. So I'm still drinking my coffee from this morning. So if I take a break to have a little sip, that is why. Okay, I'm looking for my scrap paper. Oh, here we go. All right. So last week I covered some of the basic supplies that kind of handy to have on hand. Now, this is a temporary adhesive, but you can also just use a tiny little bit of seal as well. And you just want to put something down so that it holds it in place. And then we're going to take our stencils. Now, with this plaid background, depending on how you position it and whether you do this one first or this one first, you will get a different plaid. All right, so I'm going to share one way to use it, and then I'll share a couple different examples. Okay, so we're going to start with this one, and you do want to make sure it's straight. So I am just going to line up I'm going to put the corner of my cardstock right in with the corner of my stencil so that it lines up right in the corner there. It should be straight. And then I'm going to take a little bit, oh, I just moved it. I'm going to take a little bit of Post-it tape to hold it in place. Let's reposition this. Make sure it's straight. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that my tape is not on top of my cardstock, because otherwise you're going to end up with a spot where your tape is, where it is not going to have any ink. So here you can see I didn't overlap. Here I overlapped a little bit, but that's because my cardstock starts further in. All right, now we are going to use a color combination today. We're going to make it a little bit more brighter. We're going to use Berry Burst, which is a returning color, and Parakeet Party, which is an in color. So let's start with, because I haven't done this color combination with this plaid, I have no idea what it's going to look like. Let's start with Parakeet, or let's start with Berry Burst. No, let's start with Parakeet Party. Okay. And I've got a blending brush that I'm going to use in this color. I'm just going to grab some ink. I'm going to tap off the excess just like I always do when I use my blending brushes. And then just apply the ink just like I would without a stencil. So just with a light hand in a circular motion. I'll re-ink as needed. I always say it's better to go lighter because you can always add more layers. If you go on heavy, you can't remove it. Whereas if there's not enough ink on there, you can always add more. All right. And I'm going to add a few more layers because I want it to be a little bit more dark and bold. Really trying to make sure that my cardstock doesn't move. Okay, I think the top is good. Let's keep going down here. Try to make it a consistent color all the way down. And I've shared, I think it was in Wednesday's blog post, I shared a project where we didn't use the whole stencil and it was this grid background. Actually, and I think on Monday there was a scrapbook layout that I shared as well. So you can always go back on my blog, stamptreasures.com, and check out the posts. I've got lots and lots of samples to share with you using stencils. Okay, so that is the Parakeet Party done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to overlay it. Now at this point, you can choose to remove this and it's going to give you, and then put this one on, and it'll give you a completely different look. But we're going to leave this on. I think that's what I did. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I'm going to try to figure out how I want the pattern to look. Okay. So I'm actually going to line up my stencil right with the other stencil. We're going to grab some more Post-it tape. And if you don't have Post-it tape, you can use painter's tape. You can use washi tape. You can use Post-it notes even. Okay, so we've got that down there. And then we're going to bring in our Berry Burst. And good morning, Gail. Good morning, Darlene. Happy Friday. Okay, so again, we'll tap off. This is a nice bright color, so you want to make sure you get that excess off. And then I'm curious to see what this looks like because I have not done this color combination yet. I mean, I've used Berry Burst, and well, I've used Berry Burst and Lemon Lime Twist, I have not used Berry Burst and Parakeet Party, but I have not done the inks together. So we'll see what this looks like. I think this will create kind of a fun plaid pattern. So today we're actually making a gift card holder, or I'm going to convert a regular card into a gift card holder. And we're doing a birthday theme. Never have enough birthday cards on hand. Okay. I think we are good. All right, let's see what this is gonna look like. Fingers crossed that this turned out. All right, good morning, Lisa. So we'll peel this back. Ooh, look at that color combination. We've got some nice bright green in the back. This is so not my normal color. Oh, I love it. Look how fun that is. So cool. So we've still got some white from, remember where we covered, so the pattern on this one, but then we've also got some Parakeet Party. Okay, so it appears that my internet was cutting out this morning, so I'm picking up where I left off. So here is the plaid pattern that we created, and what we're going to do is we're going to trim it down. So this piece is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and I'm going to trim it down to 2 3/4. And this piece is going to be used for the outside of the card. This piece is going to be used for the inside of the card. Now I've got a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch lemon lime twist that I've embossed using the Painted Textures embossing folder. So this one here. And I'm going to attach this piece to the bottom of this. Of course, it's always the days when you have like 1,000,001 things to do where, you know, everything goes wrong, right? So, but it's okay. It'll all work out. And then I've got this ribbon. This is part of a ribbon combo pack from the annual catalog. And it comes with these 2 ribbons. This one I believe is Petal Pink, and then this one is Lemon Lime Twist. I love these finer ribbons. We're just gonna take this, we're gonna wrap it around. I like to leave my ribbon long or on the spool when I tie a bow or wrap it around anything, because then there is less waste. So I'm gonna just wrap that around, tie my bow. All right, and then we'll trim this off, and there's no waste. Okay, this is then going to get mounted onto a piece of thick white cardstock. But before we do that, we're gonna work on our focal point. So I've got a scrap piece of white and a piece of Berry Burst. And I'm gonna take the 2 3/8 inch circle punch and punch out a circle. And we're going to use the Circle Sains stamp set. So these 2 products are actually available as a bundle. You can save 10% when you purchase them. Circles are just something that everybody needs in their collection. You can never have enough circles, especially circle punches, in my opinion. All right, and we're going to use this Celebrate. So it has Celebrate around it in three times, but I only want to ink up one of them along with the dots on either side. And thankfully this is a photopolymer stamp, so it's easy to do. But if it was a red rubber stamp, you could still do it. You could just mask off with a Post-it note. There we go. Oh, and while we've got this out, let's stamp our cupcake. And then we're also going to stamp happy birthday. So all three of these images are from this same stamp set. Okay. All right, we're gonna bring in our 2-inch circle punch to punch this out. And our 2-inch circle punch, it's not pictured in the catalog. However, it is part of our online exclusives. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're gonna color this in. I'm gonna use some Parakeet Party to color in the cupcake liner. I'm gonna start with a bit of dark. And I always tell people, play around with starting from dark and then going to light, or going from light and adding a layer of dark, because you never know what's going to work best for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. When I first started, I would do a whole layer of white. I would color the whole thing in with light, and then I would add in a bit of dark and then blend with light. And then I started trying it with dark first, and then, oh my gosh, and then adding in the light. Or sorry, I would start with light first and then adding in the dark. And I just found I liked the look of it a little bit better. Okay, so I just colored that in using dark crumb cake. And then for my icing, I'm going to use some Flirty Flamingo. So I'll just add a little bit of dark here. And then fill it in with light. I also like to leave a little bit of white space. You can see I left a little bit of white there. I'll do the same thing here. Okay, and then we're gonna fussy cut this. There are no dies for this one, but it's quick and easy to fussy cut. Make sure that you stick around until the end, because I've got a bunch of samples to share with you using these masks. It's so fun. You can get such different looks by just simply switching out the colors. And even just the way that you layer those masks, you get a different plaid pattern, which is so fun. And you don't even have to layer them. You can use them on their own. I shared a couple examples this week over on my blog, where it just uses the masks. Okay, so this is going to need to slide over. Slide it over, see if this will fit in here now. Yep, so we can go ahead and adhere this. And we'll pop that on here. And then this is going to go on. And because this is such a bright, fun, cheerful card, we're going to do a little bit of doodling. So I'm going to take a black Sharpie pen. I love these pens. I use these pens all the time. And we're just going to do a little bit of a doodle around the edge. So I'm going to do a line and then a scribble, maybe a dot. I'm not worried about if it's straight, if it's centered. It's just to add a bit of detail in this wider border that we have. And I'll bring that up a little closer so you can see it. And then this is going to get popped up using dimensionals. Okay, and then we're going to put the celebrate at the top. This guy's going to go on using dimensionals as well. I just love the color combination of this card. So fun. All right. And then inside, we're going to take this leftover piece. I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch and just notch the top. So I'm going to find the center, just create a little bit of a notch, and then we'll add some adhesive down the 2 sides and along the bottom so that we create a little pocket. And I'll just center that on there so there's an even border on the 3 sides. And then this piece, we're just going to trim it down. We don't want to cut off that Y. And we'll snip this up so it's straight across or straight up, this at an angle. And we'll pop that on there like that. And now we've got a little pocket so you can tuck a gift card in. And we've got this fun, bright, cheerful card. So like I said, I've got lots of other samples. So the original one I created, I used a different color combination and a vanilla base instead of a white base. So these 2 colors are copper clay and wild wheat. So, and I layered the stencils. You can see I layered them the same way. And this one, again, same colors, but I layered them a little bit differently. So I layered the thicker plaid, the wider plaid first, and then put the narrower plaid over top. And then you end up with these wider borders. So I just used my Sharpie pen and a ruler and kind of drew in those extra lines. Here's one without those extra lines, so the same configuration as that one. And this uses the Timeless Arrangements bundle, which I absolutely love. This was one that was created just using leftover pieces. I think it was configured a little bit differently. I just don't remember how I did it. Yeah, I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how I colored this one in or what layering. But it just goes to show you that you can play around with different configurations and you'll get a completely different look. So versatile. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the next couple stencil videos that I'm sharing. And then I also wanted to let you know about a new gift with purchase beginning today. So beginning May 12th until May 29th, 2023. When you spend $60 with me or more, then you'll get this little gift in the mail. So there's this cute little zipper pouch, and inside you'll get a thank you card, a sheet of dimensionals, and a Stampin' Up! Pencil. So just my little way of saying thank you when you choose me as your demonstrator. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer them. And for all of you mothers out there, happy early Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day weekend. And thanks so much for watching. Take care.